Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to killer7. So I exited out of the game and decided to load back in. Interestingly, I would say there's a chance here that the moon color changes each time you load in. So sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red. So yeah, there's, I guess, a question there as far as just how, whether that is different or whether that's just kind of random. We've done a pretty good job of having boss fights right at the beginning of the recordings, and almost certainly I suspect I'm going to walk through this parking lot and have a boss fight. Now, I don't know if we have to play as the Masked Day Smith or if we can move over to Kanade. We will just see. Like, we're chasing after somebody associated with this, like, kid kidnapping through a amusement park to harvest their organs and or take the girls and make them part of a harem of a bad guy. It's too bright. Turn off the light. It won't hit in the dark. Turn on the spotlight. Expose it all. Pick them off. Shoot them fast. Save me. Alright, well, that doesn't inspire a lot of confidence that I should be playing as Masked Day Smith. We probably should be playing as Kanade. Kaede. Wait a minute. That camera just zoomed in a little bit more because we were playing as Kaede. Let's just experiment here. Yeah, it takes a different camera angle, although still not really the right camera angle, based on which character you selected based on, I guess, their height. It's still a very weird camera angle. It kind of feels like a bug, frankly. Like, but there aren't any options menus inside of the game, so this was the default settings. Maybe in the configuration launcher there would have been something that would have shifted the camera angle, but then if you shifted it here, you'd probably affect other camera angles too. There was also some story here as far as one of these characters being the people that being the person that killed Dan, and yet somehow Dan became one of the personalities. It gives the feeling, certainly, that there's some way in which murdered people and are getting resurrected as personalities in this Smith group. Although clearly the last name Smith doesn't match. So it looks like we're back to a anime character, and very much anime looking character. Although, in all fairness, I don't know if you particularly want to animate a kid in this game, nor could you with this low polygon, kind of soft shell CGI style. But I doubt this is a kid, because she's obviously holding the gun. There's no targeting here of the lights, nor is there even targeting of that character. I can't bring up the map, so we'll just have to see what's going to happen. Like a flower that blooms in the soil, I shall administer retribution to straying vermin, for I am the chairman of the Education Guidance Counter Ame Blayburn. So doing a let's see. I have no idea how I'm supposed to be turning the lights off. So let's just run since the other person is running. So you have a very like Sailor Moon type transformation that you would think of as far as like somebody watching TV and just dreaming up all of this. Alright. So am I supposed to be chasing after this character? Or am I supposed to just be like driving into this character completely? It does just kind of seem like your move here would be to try and double tap the character. I only have so much blood here. Let's switch to this guy and see if maybe we can lock in more of a slow experience. Yeah, I question whether you would ever hit this. I guess maybe that would work. Just to generally try and like wait until it's close. Like, I don't even know where it is. It's just gonna like run right past me. It seems like it's not really shooting me so much. Where'd it go? So it seems like it does like to go turn around. And yeah, that was just the entire fight there. All these fights seem to be very much just walk into the darkness. But see, like this big smiley anime face just does not really feel like that's a real person as much as that's somebody wearing a mask. And she just gets on this bus and the bus drives away. I can't really read what the bus is saying. And that was encounter part 1. Weird way to end it. Not that crazy. Here we can see the yellow moon. This is what it was, the color it was when I loaded in just 9 minutes ago. Yeah, this Pedro Montana is one of our targets, I think.
If you're looking to play doubles, go find someone else, all right?
Do I look like a guy who wants to play doubles?
We saw this assassin guy. I'm not sure we know who he is, but it does seem like he is either killing or talking to or kidnapping our targets, and so we seem to have some competition going on now. So now we're going from an amusement park to a tennis facility or a gym. Still got the screaming going on. Still got the hallway going on. Almost certainly we're going to walk into Harman's room and see the bad Samantha abusing him again. Oh, interesting. This time they've opted to have the good Samantha here, but noticeably they've opted also not to really have Harman awake. And you would have thought that Harman was always awake when the good Samantha was around, but I guess that's not the case. We really don't have any thick blood, nor can we switch any personalities out unless we unlock some new personalities in the New Game Plus, and you possibly could switch something out here. So this is just straight up a save spot that they're giving us. It would make some sense to just start using the second save spots, but whatever. We will stick with overriding things that we shouldn't keep, which I would probably guess is this one for Cloudman. But we are kind of going all over the place with the save files. I imagine it would be very hard for any player to not hear the screaming and think there's something weird about that. But yeah, no conversation at all in that section. I suspect we may end up fighting the anime looking girl again before the end of encounter.
Time to say your prayers.
Help! No, help! Forgive me! Forgive me!
It'd be interesting if this just becomes a new personality
I sense regret.
in the middle of the game.
Because you apologize, you think you'll be forgiven. Just like that.
That would actually be nicer, frankly, instead of putting it all in a New Game Plus
You're lying.
over and over again.
Your wife's name is Pamela, right? And your son, Paul.
What have you done to them?
Pamela sure has a mole in a unique place. You know, it kinda turned me on.
No, you didn't. You bastard!
So,
Paul,
3 people with
he's such a sissy.
the letter P starting in their names,
Teaching your kids.
because it's Pedro, Pamela, and Paul.
Do you feel the hate swelling? That hate that comes from your grudge. It's merely a reflection of you. Ask yourself, Pedro, how many children have you killed?
Mary?
You mean your little girl, Mary?
Mary? Where is she?
Right here.
That almost looks like the head that's giving us the ring, but I can't tell. Which really wouldn't make sense that the heads that were finding the rings was Mary, if Mary had been alive at the beginning of this whole story. But I'm not sure I really believe time works the way we think it does in this game anyways. So you imagine, well, I imagine that there's a whole level here, but at a certain point this may very well just run into a boss fight and no extra, or very little extra
Come on, let's get
rooms.
Yeah. Poor kid. It's just
This audio is weird.
I
How
know.
it's stopping and starting.
That's atrocious, ain't it?
Yeah, that was weird. Ambush at the Blackburn residence. Assignment 37. Get rid of the assassin Curtis Blackburn. I don't know if Curtis Blackburn is the person we've been following. And I don't know what body they just picked up. It would make a little bit more sense if it really was a case where you had just followed the bus here. We can see it's just the logo for that amusement park. I guess the question is, are we going to find that anime girl, or is she just dead? Is that the corpse we just picked up? Or are we going to see a bunch of them? Let's see what Iwazaru says. That won't do. That just won't do at all. There's just no excuse. How could you let a kidnapper get away alive? I must be more strict. I must stay vigilant. In the name of Harman. So he's no longer having fun at the amusement park. Just back to being negative. Okay. So more than likely, we're going through this area to the save room to then switch to a different character. And we're not even going to encounter any happy smiles. Although, at some point, I think we probably will encounter a happy smile. And so we're now back to Dan. And the door locking behind us. Yep. And we've got cars that you can't really shoot. And at least one guy here that we probably need to take on. And we're getting too many of these Iwazaru side dialogue things. Almost certainly, a modern game, you would make these walk and talks where they talk to you. You must sometimes use a carrot. There's something very important I must say, just between you and me. You know, off the record. White hair is a neurotic fellow. This house may look normal, but it's actually protected by very heavy security. You have to proceed carefully. So there's probably some traps. What calls for 4 eyes? Always better safe than sorry. In the name of Harman. Yeah. So we have Kade asleep at this point. And 4 Eyes or Kevin. I think 4 Eyes is Kevin. But maybe not. There's a Bomberhead character. So I guess the thing here is we're probably not going to be able to wake up Kade, nor should we probably even try for a while. And we were already kind of throwing bullets and upgrades into Dan, which is probably a mistake, and we should probably... And we need to kill 9 more of those before we could get back to Kade. We had looked at everything here, and we now know that there are 2 new characters coming. So we'll just get the hint. New type of enemy called the Protector ZZ. Even Mask's shock cell won't affect this one. The self-powered warrior is the ultimate alteration. You mustn't underestimate it. However, it's essential to trick it. Use Mask's focus skills to reverse its own powers of motion. Take them out like so many flies in the name of Harman. I'm not sure I exactly know what Mask's focus skills are, but I imagine it's the second level that requires 2 levels of blood. And then we have Mirthril. New type of enemy called Mithril, armored soldiers. They're equipped with armor on their bodies. Even if you destroy the tough outer shell, the enemy inside will come and attack. Is this like a 2-for-1 special? You should finish them off as quickly as you can. Don't allow them to the pleasure of existence. Alright. Alright. So into the garden we go. I don't think there was anything we missed there, but fairly obviously there's a lot of stuff we're gonna have to do in this area. Yeah. And I really have to question whether playing as the knife guy ever is gonna quite feel right. Does seem like it's gonna be awkward no matter what. Which way is he coming? Oh, so the Camillas, I guess, really are designed in such a way that you should just try and hit them as much as possible. Let's go this way. Let's go this way first. So we've got a water tank. Let's smell. If we're at the water tank, I don't know who would really have an ability here, but it's obviously either Dan. I mean, like, Dan doesn't, I think, have a special ability here, so if I was to press Y without charging, nothing's gonna happen. I don't think this guy has a special ability. Like, he did something there, but it didn't do anything. So I just kind of have to assume that that's not. Yeah. You may get quite a lot of blood using the knife guy though, so if this was like a speedrun game, maybe the whole idea really would boil down to playing with the knife guy to get as much blood as possible. Although I don't know if I'm specifically getting thin blood when I'm hitting something versus thick blood with knives. I could be so you just see all that blood flowing It's real easy for this to go badly. I think I'm kind of just in the middle where things would spawn. Too much text of this. This won't do, not at all. It's entirely inefficient. You fail to understand that your job is to nail white hair. You should prepare to give your life to take this. White hair isn't going to wait around for you. Only the Hellion can destroy the core in the name of Harman. So that seems like Dan. That seems like weirdly that we are potentially already running into. This guy tells us that there's a soul shell this way. And we'll go this way. And we'll look at the statue. I guess maybe that is the Hellion they're talking about, is that Dan needs to be the guy to fire. Meanwhile, we are waiting for this guy to come around the corner. Yep. Okay. These statues don't make the most sense. And that took three whole that took 3 blood shots to thin blood vials to everybody is just leveled up enough that anybody can seemingly do enough damage here. Which I'm more than happy for that to be the case, certainly. Oh. Right. We want to go this way. Then we want to go this way. Now that we have the blood, we can walk through this. There really may not be that much game here, though. Unless each of these areas leads to something more. Yeah. We're still kind of in the garage, but they're treating that as its own room. And then there's a door to the north and a door to the west. And then I guess I needed the fire ring to get the other thing, come to think of it. Right. So one knife clears out the electrical panels. And then we have apparently an actual puzzle here. Mr. Smith, I sell information, yes. We haven't seen this guy in a while. I don't think he was in the last 2 levels. Line up the 9 cars in the garage. Shoot the mask to hear more. But the mask lusts for thick blood. Yeah, I guess if you really just could not figure out, careful of the parking position, So we have like dark ones, or ones in shadow in the top left, top center, and middle, and then light ones in every other position except for the mid right. We'll just see how this works. Well, it seems to me like what we want. Let's check that picture again, because we're not really seeing any color here. So I would have to just make some assumptions on the color, unless there's something as far as a time ring that would help looking at this picture. Let's just go this way. Interesting. That seems almost to be counter to what we're trying to do, because the cars here are we gonna open a door in any sense? The cars are facing kind of a different direction in the way it looks, and so everything just kind of doesn't seem like it quite works. Yeah, it seems like we'd be trying to let in that yellow car. But how many times would they really show this to us even? Like, does seem kind of awkwardly excessive to have to move all of this much. It's possible that this is a puzzle that actually has multiple answers. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I wouldn't be surprised if the colors here are a bit of a red herring and you really don't have to do as much as the game implies you have to do. And really you just have to get the cars out of that one spot. Yeah. Yeah, I think the car color really played no role in that at all. Susie. Oh yeah, we already got her name, so obviously that couldn't be Mary. Hello there, Smith. Muggy night, isn't it? Rather exhilarating, isn't it? A perfect night for a summer date. He rolled up in his favorite custom bike. Of course, it's all a secret from Mom and Dad. He quietly parks the bike in front of the house and tiptoes over to my window. I even have my shoes ready so I can slip out from the second floor. Isn't it a perfect escape plan? He throws a rock to signal me, but it smashed straight through the window and square into my head. Now that really pissed me off. Daddy's hunting rifle just happened to be sitting in my room. With blood trickling in my eyes, I couldn't see too well. But his head getting shot straight off. Yes, I remember that quite vividly. Brain spurted out like cottage cheese. Oh, you forgot this, didn't you? So Susie just comes off very much as a psychopath. Now we have the powering. It almost kind of does feel like Susie might be Samantha, but no, it just seems like another weird character. I had to move soon after that. My new room was all white, quite an antiseptic place. A woman in white looked after me day after day. I believe we called the room solitary confinement. The final stop for killers. Yep. Well, Susie is weird. We can't really say anything else around that. There certainly is just like an argument that having so much weirdness in a game can be a little too much for a Western gamer who's just not used to that kind of weird anime style. It seems like we're not getting any more rings. I couldn't imagine that they'd squeeze one more in. Fire ring howls. Now we have another silver odd engraving. Okay. So then it's just, do you want to go north or do you want to go west? Let's go north. See what Travis has to say. You know what was behind the assault on the immigration office? Pedro monopolized the market. Before, the rule was the old man had the girls, Pedro had the boys. That is, until Pedro broke it. There's a big business in orphans, but there was a shortage in fresh organs. Heaven's Smile caused the birth rate to drop more rapidly. How? Increases in contagious diseases starting eating away at bodies, and for a control the market on boys was no longer enough. That's why Pedro betrayed the old man. Pedro can run, but he can't hide. Right. So it does seem to me like Heaven's Smile is going to play a role here. And so if that gets us to the main residence, let's see what the other door leads to. This really isn't so much a game where you have to go back and forth that much. I have to assume if this wasn't leveled up, that... So the pool's locked from the other side. Good. Well, we should have just checked that. Then I guess at a quicker, easier time. That one nearly got me. What's weird is, I guess the symbol that tells you how much thin blood you have might imply that there's some other kinds of collectibles that you would run into later. Right. Well, I don't know if where we're really starting here, but I guess we'll just go. Let's just go this way. Alright, that's not gonna work. We need Master Smith. Yeah. More and more being in narrow corridors, we're gonna run into situations like that where taking out an enemy Becomes more of a thing. Like we have like a Camilla smile here, it looks like, but okay. We have a fireplace, which probably means we need the wind ring. Yep. Since we already put fire out once that way. Noticeably, you do seem to eliminate 2 or 3 things on the map. If you're... I don't think this is the guy that jumps. No. We need to go wake up somebody, and I don't even know if we have a save spot. Yeah, we do. So we need to go north. Oops. Tried to counterattack, that didn't work. Alright, let's go this way, I guess. Like, this definitely feels like a point where either I'm gonna just have to do a massive amount of damage against this spawner, or get somewhat lucky on its critical spot. And it may very well be a one that only takes damage when hit in the critical spot. Although that doesn't seem to be really the case. We got this power ring, and I don't know if we have any indication that the power ring actually would increase the power, or if we're supposed to use it for something else. Yeah, this just doesn't seem like this works. Right. So, let's go back to Dan. Since we've played the least with him, even though the game kind of feels like you should play the most with him. Let's see. Protector's easy smile. That's not where I really wanted to go yet, so. Hallway. This way to the hallway. So that guy still was able to be taken out. Interesting. So this way. And this leads to the garden. I guess we should just figure out which way is the garden. Nope, the garden was where we were before. And certainly exiting out and entering, it's not the best way to play through this, because it's just going to constantly respawn enemies, although it does kind of seem like that's sort of the goal anyways. Figured there might be something around that, but I guess not. Alright, let's talk to Iwazaru. Give it some thought. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Did you already forget the crack? Thank goodness. Mask works wonders here. Recall the skill of the mask. In the name of Harman. It almost feels like you probably should have the yeah, it just really wanted you to go through a whole place. Okay. So we are just going around in circles. Trying to figure out the right hallway to go down. Have we been to the pool? Like, I'm not trying to go outside yet. Alright, so here's a carrier pigeon in this separate bathroom. Pretty Japanese style of having the water closet toilet in its own separate little room, not connected to the laundry slash bathing bathtub room. And at least as far as how I've seen a lot of Japanese bathrooms depicted. Although, in all fairness, a lot of the anime depictions of Japanese bathrooms I think are very inaccurate for how tiny bathrooms are in a lot of Japanese apartments, and potentially shared bathrooms, shared toilets, and apartments not having anything in them other than a small square in which you can sleep and maybe try and cook food. In anime, it's always depicted as much bigger houses than I think most Japanese people in Tokyo particularly live. So, dear Mir, I tend to be a little stubborn, even so you'll probably forgive me. Of course you will, since you're the one who hasn't paid me. You'll pay for every last dollar, one way or another, I assure you. I'll crush your palpating heart in the palm of my hand. I'll bend your wings backward. Her name is Susie Sumner. She is a loose cannon with a vicious criminal intent. She was apprehended under the National Watch program but killed several of the program's directors. After requesting work from the Smith Syndicate, she was eliminated. So, Susie Sumner tried to hire the Smith Syndicate and then was killed by somebody. The boy's name is Kes Blood Sunday, and like his namesake, he was killed by Sunday. His criminal tendencies were such that even the Smith Syndicate were reluctant to kill him at first. Wonder if the boy is the character with the striped shirt. I guess that's probably it. The boy was a remorseless killer, born with murderous tendency and latent talent to construct complex bombs. The informant's name is Yoon Hyun. He's the owner of the Union Hotel Group. He met an untimely death at the Union Hotel in Philadelphia. So, if we're going to unlock potentially 2 other characters, you would almost assume that it wouldn't be Yoon Hyun, but it would be Susie and the boy. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's just like straight up a whole new character that we've never even seen that gets unlocked. Many celebrities were at the reception, but nevertheless, there were a few witnesses to the murder, and many of the facts don't add up. Yet one thing is for sure, he was involved with the Smith Syndicate. Rumor has it that an incident that happened at the hotel was swept conveniently under the rug. The remnant psyches surrounding the Smith Syndicate have come together, and every last one of them is a hard-boiled criminal. Members of the Smith Syndicate are no ordinary killers. They are superhuman monsters that consider psychos fair game. They'll contact you just one more time, Johnny Gagnon. I suspect he will actually only contact us one more time, or we will intercept one more pigeon, because it doesn't really look like there is room for much more of that. But as far as memos go, it doesn't seem like there's too much of anything else either. It almost would make some sense to switch to a different character, but I don't know which character's health might be low, if any character's health is low, because you have to switch to them before you can figure that out. Alright. Into Harman's room we go. And I imagine we don't have anything new to read here. So what we want to do is turn all of our thick blood into serum first, because we know you get tapped out at 100 or 1,000 deciliters, so it's not worth it to not translate it. Here's where the decisions could get a little bit weird, because we could try to level up something more there. Let's go ahead and wake up her as a character. There seems still not to really be any reason not to do that. And yeah, it'll just be a matter of saving serum until we could increase, I guess criticals would be the next thing I'd probably want to increase. Kaede with her critical lock, I think, is not really so much worth it. Yeah, we wanted to wake up Coyote and select him. Right. Okay. So we are here. There are 2 exits to the pool. So really what we want to do here he's just too weak. Just too weak of a character. So we'll just go to Master Smith, who's probably the best character to play as at the moment. And we will go ahead and equip the power ring. Right. Yeah, if I go down that hallway, it's going to take me to the pool. And more than likely, I suspect the pool would just be locked anyways. And the main goal here is to just kind of not take too much damage, but that was an example of enemies kind of overflowing. There kind of needs to be this balance in this where you would have much weaker enemies the shorter they spawn away from you. Yeah, if it was much weaker enemies based on the distance from you, and yet it was the same enemies that just had a different amount of health, you could probably balance the game out a little bit better. But yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's always either one critical shot or two or three really strong shots for depending on the enemy. Looks like we just have Travis here. You're slipping, Smith. How can the old man be giving you this much trouble? Ayami, the machine gun girl, was a crazy costume. That's the kind of stuff that gets the old man off. He trained her himself. You saw the pile of bodies in the back, right? That's the old man's true colors shining through. He only needs the girls. No use for the boys. Tragic poop shit. So we're just getting more backstory. Really? And so he's a... What they're heavily implying here, in case anyone is not following, is that he is a actual pedophile that also has a fetish for having them dress up as anime girls. Let's see. Well, looks to me what's going to happen is that we're going to have to take on the Protector ZZ and then escape through this area. Yeah, we are straight up just entering a new area. Let's see. We're doing it all wrong. Well, at this point, you'd probably rather not hear me say that. I'll just stay out of your way. Remember, there's a ring for extinguishing flame in the name of Harman. Yeah. I'm not even sure this is the same direction we came before. Yeah. Let's go check out the pool, I guess. Just try and figure out if there's going to be a boss fight here or something. Or what? It could sure use a light. So it seems to me like this is probably a boss fight. See, here we have a door that's locked, which Coyote can get through that. So this would have just gotten us back to this area. So yeah, there's less reason to. We didn't need to check that out. Yeah, I assume once the light gets turned on, we've got the power ring right now. So if they mean power as in electricity, that might mean something. And that pool really just curved one way and the other. Alright, well, ideally I would like to have gotten to a save spot because we haven't saved in a while. But we have gone an hour, and yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much we're going to do, or that we're going to even be able to access the save spot. Seems like we have to access the save spot later, and then drain the pool, and then that's going to get us to the Vinicum gate, and yeah, it seems like there's just a lot going on. We've got this guy here, so we do know we need to take that guy out. And we've got blood to spare, so getting our health all the way up is smart. There still doesn't seem like there's any real penalty for waking up characters, so you probably should just always do it. Anyways, I guess that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.